Hello students of class 11, we have come to the end of this chapter Macbeth. Now what we find is that Macbeth, when he saw that the woods were moving, and when he was completely convinced about the fact, then he prepared his army for the battle, and he moved out of his palace, and he attacked the enemies. The strange sight of the moving woods was easily solved. When the besieging army advanced towards the castle through the woods of Burnham, Malcolm, like an astute general, instructed all his soldiers to hew down a bough and bear it before him so that he could conceal the actual number of invaders to Macbeth. This marching of soldiers with bows in their hands had appeared from a distance like moving woods, and the messenger was evidently frightened. Thus the words of the spirit brought to pass, in a sense different from that in which Macbeth understood, and so he lost his confidence. So, as we have seen in the previous class, that the messenger had come and told Macbeth that the woods are moving, and he was almost pale with fear that something very impossible is happening, the woods moving, but the woods were not actually moving. It was, a trick that was played by Malcolm. And what did he do? He actually asked his army, his soldiers, that when they were passing through the Burnham woods, to cut down a branch of a tree and to hold it before them. And why he did that was to because he wanted to conceal. That is, conceal means he wanted to hide from Macbeth the actual number of soldiers he had in his army, because that way he would be able to confuse Macbeth in that way. So, and that is what exactly happened. So when the messenger saw from a distance, it seemed as though the woods were moving. So, and then it says that that's the words of the spirit brought to pass. That is, as the third spirit said, that Macbeth would be killed only when Burnham woods would move to Dunsinane Hill. So what Macbeth understood was the forest coming, but from a distance they could never understand they were soldiers, because the trees, they could only see the trees, and that unnerved Macbeth and he lost his confidence. A fierce skirmish is a brief fight, took place in which Macbeth slaughtered all those who challenged him. So slaughtered means he just beheaded. Okay, whoever came the enemy from the enemy side, he just beheaded them, he just killed them, until he faced Macduff. And remembering the caution of the spirit who had counselled him, counsel means advised him, to stay away from the Thane of Five, he would have turned back. But Macduff, who had been seeking him through the whole fight, opposed his turning, and a fierce contest ensued. So Macbeth could easily defeat, and he just slaughtered. That is, he just went on killing everybody who came on his way till he made Macduff. And when he came face to face with Macduff, he remembered the saying of the first witch, who said that beware of the Thane of Five. So he would have turned, means he was not ready to fight with Macduff, but Macduff had been searching for Macbeth throughout this battle. So he just did not allow Macbeth to go away, and then a fierce fight took place. Macduff reproached him, means scolded him, and called him a tyrant, murderer, hellhound, and a villain for brutally slaughtering his wife and his innocent children. Of course, Macduff was very, not only was he angry on Macbeth because of killing Duncan and his several other activities, but more so because Macbeth had destroyed his family, and those children and wife did not do any harm to Macbeth, but still they were slaughtered, brutally slaughtered. So that's why Macduff scolded Macbeth for that, and he used he gave all cruel adjectives that were possible. Then Macbeth remembered the words of the spirit and boldly proclaimed, "I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to a man born naturally of a woman." At this, Macduff snubbed him and declared that never born of a woman, never as the ordinary man is naturally born, but was untimely taken out from his mother's womb. So, when there was a battle between Macbeth and Macduff, Macbeth said that Macduff, you cannot do anything to me because I cannot be killed by any person who is born naturally of a woman. But then Macduff reveals the truth of his birth and says that I was not born naturally of a woman, but I was taken out untimely, that is before time, from my mother's womb. Macbeth lost his strength and resoluteness. Resolute means determination. He lamented, in future a man should never believe the lying equivocations. Equivocations means the ambiguous words, equivocations of witches and juggling spirits who deceive us in words that have double meanings. So he himself, at the end is the realization of Macbeth. He realized that how fool he was to have believed in those witches, because their words have double meaning, as he has seen in his own life. And while they keep their promises literally, yes, whatever predictions they made have come true, but there was another meaning to it. That is, these witches have told him half-truths. Literally, they disappoint us by providing different meanings. Because, Macbeth thought that the woods would be moving, but the woods did not actually move. But from a distance, it appeared as though the woods were moving. And that was to not only to conceal the number of soldiers, but also to confuse Macbeth in that way. He then refused to fight against Macduff. Macduff, who abhorred him, abhorred means hated him, scornfully told him, it's very angrily, very annoying, disgusted, told him that they would imprison him. That is, imprison him means put him in prison and demonstrate him to the laity. Laity means the common people, as a tyrant, quite like the way monsters are displayed. Like it's somewhat like we have a zoo, where animals are kept and people go there to see those animals. So in the same way, Macduff said that if you don't fight, then I will imprison you, and I will put you, I will project you as a tyrant before the common people, just as we do, just as monsters are done. Never, said Macbeth. I will not live to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet. That is, I will now not bow down before Malcolm. His valiance returned with despair, and he threw upon Macbeth who, after a vicious struggle, overpowered Aim and severed his head and presented it to the young and lawful new king. So then Macbeth said that no, I'm not going to surrender myself before Malcolm. And then that courage came back in him, and he gave a tough fight. But Macduff overpowered him and beheaded him, and he presented Macbeth's head to the lawful king, that is Malcolm. Malcolm then ascended the throne amid acclamation. Acclamation means where people accept, from the very core of their heart, acclamations of the noblemen and the people of Scotland. So everybody was very happy that ultimately the rightful heir to the throne had become the King of Scotland. So there we end the story of Macbeth. Hope you have understood it. Thank you.